Hello again. Earlier today, I released a video on a subject about which I've been thinking deeply for the last week or so. This was that Western civilization, that founded by Europeans, which is, by the way, inextricably bound up, of course, with skin colour, white skin to be specific, might possibly be about to be eclipsed by another ethnicity, that of the Chinese. A few days ago, I was mulling this over in my mind and wondering what it was which had caused white Europeans to have such a drive to leave their own continent and colonize the world. They did this with considerable determination, combined with a good deal of ruthlessness and aggression. Indeed, when you think about it, white civilization has been more aggressive and go-getting than any previous culture. And I suspect that if you totted up the deaths in the 20th century, the two world wars, the concentration camps in the Soviet Union, the Holocaust, and so on, you would find that in a competition to see how many people could be killed by a single ethnicity, then white Europeans would be well ahead of anybody else. Why that should be is an interesting point. Then I saw a study by the Royal Veterinary College which tied in with this train of thought about aggression in different breeds of pet dogs. Was there some reason, I thought, why white Europeans have been able to dominate the world as they have? Was it aggression, intelligence, a combination of the two traits? What could explain this? Because we're talking about many different nations and cultures with the common denominator being skin color alone. So I made a brief video speculating about this and asking if it was possible that it could be a genetic thing, just as some dogs are intelligent by breed, or aggressive, or indeed both. What was it that caused our own culture to be so thrusting and forceful? There were two results of this, one predictable and the other surprising. The predictable consequence was, of course, that I was accused of racism, and nobody could even be bothered to try and explain why things like intelligence and aggression are seemingly genetic traits in dogs but cannot possibly be so in humans. Okay, I expected this. Lord forbid that people should actually try and think about difficult subjects. The second thing which became apparent was curious, surprising, and deliciously amusing. In the video, I said, following my train of thought about how white civilization has conquered the world with its outward thrusting drive to dominate and subdue, I said, if certain dogs can be more aggressive than others, something which few of us doubt, and this tendency can be correlated accurately to an external characteristic like colour, why would it be impossible for this to occur also in humans? It was very clear from the comments that every single person who took exception to this video had assumed that I was talking about the possibility of black people being more aggressive and having an inherited tendency towards this. At first, I thought that I must have inadvertently said something which could put this idea into viewers' minds, but I watched the video all the way through and there was nothing at all to even hint at this. Those people who were upset and offended by the racism were in fact reacting to something within themselves. It was they who had thought at once of black people as being the group who might be inherently more aggressive. It was nothing at all to do with anything I had said. This made me laugh because the racism against black people at which they were complaining came only from their own minds. I suppose the real source of annoyance in the video is nothing to do with racism, really, but rather some kind of human chauvinism, which caused people to be put out at being compared to animals. The problem is that we are animals, and there's no reason to suppose that our animal natures have any less effect on our characters than they do it does upon the natural instincts of dogs and cats.